Alright, so up to this point I've showed you how to use the Add Argument button to add arguments to a debate, or to click on the actual argument that you want to add, so that you can then hit Reply Argument in order to add arguments. Now I want to show you another little trick, which is instead of using the top of the page to add arguments to the debate, you can use the bottom of the page. And so I'm going to show you what I like to call the bottom of the page strategy. So what I'm going to do is, right now we're in the overview mode, and if I click these three little dots, it's going to open up the full text of that particular argument, which gives us again the title, the clarification text, and then some different options down here. You can also just go to the full text, and that will bring all of them open to this, or again, titles only to show just the titles, or overview to show just the first line of each debate. But I'm going to go back to full text. Now, you notice that down here there's a whole series of different tabs that you can take actions on. So for example, we can go to the Rate tab for this particular argument, and this is a place that allows us to rate it. So instead of actually clicking on this title tag and going to the Rate button up top, we can actually do it all right within this argument view. Now another thing you can do is reply. Again, instead of going to the argument page and hitting reply to this argument, you can just go down to the Reply tab and notice that you have all the same options that you do in the normal Reply tab. You can also add tags. You can see the tags that are associated with this particular argument. You can see the links that are associated with this argument. There aren't any links associated with this argument. And you can do this thing called watching. And watching allows you to track any responses that people make to this argument. So if someone were to reply to this argument, you would get an email telling you what their reply was. And you can do this 1 level deep, 2 level deep, 5, or very deep. And so all you do is put in your email address. I'm just going to put in a random email address just to show how it works, and then hit Send Email. And it's that simple. Now, whenever anyone responds to this argument down the number of levels that you've suggested, in this case I'm going to go down 2 levels, hit Send Email. Now you're going to get emails from that. The next tab is the Bookmark tab. And the Bookmark tab allows you to make a bookmark for this particular argument, so you can always come back to it. But not only that, you could also write some text in it. You could say, make sure this argument gets some love. Right? You care about this argument. You want to make sure that it's being treated appropriately and that you keep your eye on it in terms of the site. Now, whenever you roll over your unbookmark thing, you can actually read what your bookmark text is, which is handy. And the last is temporary. And the temporary is something we'll get into later, which is you can actually use a Firefox extension to create arguments while you're surfing the web on other sites. And if you've done that, then your various temporary arguments are put right here so that you can actually use them to reply to this argument, which is really cool, and I'll show you that in another video. So if you go through the process this way, you can do your rating, replying, look at tags and links. You can watch arguments and bookmark them, or add temporary arguments, all right within the sub-argument list. And notice that instead of going from page to page, you could do everything all right on the debate page. Just go right down. So for example, you could reply to this second argument, or rate it, or watch it, or do a bookmark. So we call this the bottom of the page strategy, and it's just another really convenient way of being able to navigate through and use the BestDebates site easily and efficiently. So again, I look forward to having you join the conversation on BestDebates. And remember, may the best argument win.